And then you can lock the controls if you have little grubby kids that like to mess around with that stuff. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of LJ's Garage. I am sitting in a 2024 BMW iX. This one specifically is the Xdrive50. If you don't know what that means, don't worry. I am going to walk you through the iX and give you kind of a walk around tour of the inside, the outside, talk about a couple key features, and then share my thoughts on the driving experience with you guys. So the iX, if you will, comes in two different trims. The first one's going to be the Xdrive50 and the other one's going to be the M60. This has 516 horsepower and 560 foot-pounds of torque. It'll do 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds. Estimated range is somewhere around 305 to 311 miles per charge. I'm so used to saying miles per gallon that I always fumble that little bit. I'm getting used to the electric car, so if you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button as I walk through some of these electric cars. Learn with me. If you want a little bit more horsepower, then you go for the M60, and the M60's got more M bits sprinkled in there. And one of the things that I love about the iX is not the looks, if you thought I was going to say that. It's actually the interior. I like this. I like where I'm sitting and I enjoy this. I'm going to show you guys why. And if you're wondering if it's because of this moonroof, you're onto something. It might be. The M60 though has 610 horsepower and will do 0 to 60 in about 3.6 seconds. However, with that added horsepower, you're going to lose a little bit of range, so 296 is the estimated miles per charge on the M60. Both of these will be all-wheel drive, dual motor. And if you're looking for an electric SUV, something similar to the X5, this has some drawbacks when it comes to the shape of it. That's why they label it as a sports activity vehicle. And once I hop back there and show you guys some of those design drawbacks or pros, depending on how you look at it, you'll understand why this is not considered an SUV. Although length and platform all the same, this design, the body, there's a little bit of a trade-off. So we'll get into that. So starting price on these is somewhere around $87,000. This one has the sport package, convenience package, and the driver assistance package. So depending on how you option your iX, you could be somewhere around the 86 to 96 to 100 price range, somewhere in that ballpark. It all just depends on what you're looking for. Some of these options, I'm going to tell you the ones that I think are a must-have, and the ones that I think that maybe, you know, if you want to save like a couple $1,000s, you could do without. Special thanks to Evans BMW over here in Dayton. If you're in the area, be sure to stop in, ask for James or Jared. And if you're looking for an awesome BMW genius, be sure to stop in and ask for Nick. But otherwise, let's get right into this one, and we'll start with the outside. All right, guys, so hopefully the audio comes out pretty great. I'm by this highway, unfortunately, so there's only little things that I can do. But on the outside, you're gonna have LED headlights. You have this really cool grille, and some of you will say this is not your favorite thing, but I actually like this. And this grille, believe it or not, is self-healing. Normally, you get 20-inch wheels with this one. This one is optioned with the 21s. And then you're gonna notice behind it, it does have these blue calipers, and this is because this has the M Sport package. And with that being said, it's also gonna have this darker trim around the outside. It's kind of BMW's shadow line package, if you may. This is where you would find your charging door. Otherwise, the outside sort of speaks for itself, honestly. It really does. Love it or hate it, I think that it's cool that BMW is trying to give each model in the lineup its own unique personality. And while we're here, let me go ahead and show you guys the key. You're gonna have your trunk release right there, your panic button, your unlock, and then your lock is right here. So we'll go ahead and we'll release this trunk. It is power, as you would imagine. Because your liftgate has your taillights built in, whenever that opens, by law, you're required to have lights fixed to the outside of the car. And so now, this is BMW's way of doing this. This is gonna be your cargo capacity. If you remember earlier, what I was saying is because this has a different shape, let me back up a little bit to show you guys the full scope of it. It's not considered an SUV. So let's go ahead and we'll open this up. You can see you got and the tire inflator right there, and then you're gonna have your charger right there. Otherwise, that's really it. This does have a little bit extra space under there, but you're not really gonna be doing too much with that. So again, sorry about the noise. You can see you got a little privacy cover right here, and your seats do fold flat if you need to. But otherwise, let's get inside and we'll talk about the second row. I don't know about you guys, but I actually really like these taillights as well. And the other thing I want to talk about is as you walk up to the car, you do have keyless entry and you also do have passive entry. As you can see, the car knew I was approaching, it read ahead and it unlocked. And so that's a nice little feature if you're all about that life. Sneak peek of the first row, and let's hop in the back. This seat is set for someone a little bit taller than me. I'm 5'9", I'm sitting comfortably. I'll go ahead and I'll show you my headroom. When I said that earlier, there were some benefits, some drawbacks, because this doesn't have a transmission tunnel, anything like that, you're able to have pretty much a flat floor. And because you have that flat floor, you're able to have really tall, kind of high ceilings, if you may. Sorry about the street noise. There's only so much I could do, guys. But because of that, now you can see that I got plenty of headroom. I'm sitting comfortably back here. I could just take a nap. I do love the vegan interior. I love how BMW is really actively trying to make EVs more of a lifestyle, more than something that is being forced upon us. Moving on, you're gonna notice that you do have a dual zone climate setup right back here. This just turned off on me, but you do have your heated seats. And then behind the seats themselves, you're gonna have charge port. And then back here, you're gonna notice little port. It's so you can actually equip your tablets or set up a little holder for your phone for the rear passengers. But that's a really nice little feature that BMW adds. Other than that, Harman Kardon sound system, which I will show you guys what that sounds like in a little bit. You do have these nice, comfortable seats. Let's pull this down. Cup holder, storage. And if you're wondering, your cup holders are, okay, you're gonna make me do this, huh? Cup holders are right there. Look at that. German engineering at its finest. Ugh. One piece of technology that I am not a fan of is replacing door handles with these push buttons, but BMW does give you the emergency releases down here, which makes it nice. So in the event that your car dies, you can always, you know, get yourself out of these, and I love that. But I wish that we didn't have to do the push button thing, because it's still a two-step process. All right, so now we are up front. Couple things to point out. Well, there's a lot of things to point out. Over on the left-hand side, you're gonna notice you have your lighting controls right there. This is where you're gonna have your unlock, your lock, your little stupid release, and then seat controls. Again, down below, you do have your emergency release. Where are you? Right here. So that's good to know. I'm someone that doesn't like to be trapped. Nice steering wheel with a flat bottom of sorts. And kind of a flat top too. This is kind of an interesting steering wheel altogether, but I like this a lot. You'll notice that on this, it's kind of got this little, it's kind of a bronze color. I forget the official name for it, but I like this color a lot. I wish BMW used it in more places, but I like the little sprinkle of color that's right there. Let's talk about this display. So this does have the plastic still on it for the first owner, so they're gonna be able to peel this off with a joy. But this screen has a lot of customization, and it can be a little confusing at first, but I'm gonna show you guys how. So let's say this is your default, right? It's got your speedometer on the side. Down at the bottom left, you're gonna have your percent charge that you have left. Time, you're gonna see your rear occupants, temperature, and your estimated range. And that's pretty much the important things that you need to know on this display. But let's say you wanna change it, right? This little gear icon right there, give that a little press. It's gonna bring up that little menu right here. And one other thing to point out while we're here, you're gonna see that you got a little head-up display right there. Some people say heads up, I say head up. I like heads up actually, heads up sounds kind of cooler. But let's say you wanna customize anything, click that gear again. So now we're gonna customize the main content of the screen. So you just scroll up, and as you scroll, it'll give you the options, and you can just keep going through till you find the layout that you like. This is one of my favorite features though, the augmented reality or augmented view. It's really not augmented because, I mean, it's not yet. Anyways, you get my point, augmented view. So it has a lot of information displayed right up on this little screen, and that makes it nice when you're driving around. Then you can do your maps. What else we got? And then your G-forces. So you can pretend you're in a fighter jet of sorts or something. Then you can go to the left and right hand sides, scroll around on those, kind of get a different layout as well. So like I said, it's pretty straightforward. Just kind of click over and use this gear for everything. So you can get this layout to however you like, whatever your style is. That's really about all that I think that there is to really dive into that screen. Let's go over to this guy though. So this one has a lot more. You'll notice that you're missing something, right? BMW calls this shy electronics, and it's like your electronics are there, but they're not supposed to be like there. I explained that terribly, but it's their way of saying that, let's say you are surrounded by electronics, but they're hiding. They're blended very well. Like, look at this. You've got all these buttons and everything, but they're integrated in a very passive way. I think I did a better job that time. Look at this glass knob. Never have I said that in my life. So let's go to the main menu. Main menu looks like this. Climate control settings are all migrated into this system. Love it or hate it, it's actually really not that bad. Again, LJ is going to walk you through some of the basics things that you need to know. So, quick access, you're going to have these temperature settings right there. And then, if you click on that, you'll have access to your heated seats, heated steering wheel, preconditioning, give that a little click. You can set a departure plan. You can do all these things so that the car essentially knows when you're leaving the house and gets the car ready for you, which is actually a key feature to increasing your mileage whenever it comes to winter time. I know that's one of the big complaints with EVs is during the winter time, but this is one way you can prevent that by preconditioning your car. You can go straight into your maps, a little shortcut for that, music, another shortcut there. Let's see what's on the radio.
Working well overnight.
All right, so back to this. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, those things are going to be included. You can access your interior lighting right there. There is a little bit of ambient lighting that you get. Right now it's set to this amber gold color, which I just realized that if you look at these really closely, these are also that bronze color, but it just doesn't show in certain lights. But it's so nice. That's such a good color. Let's go ahead and change this to, let's do turquoise. Well, unfortunately, you guys will have to believe me. I guess you can kind of see it right there. But you do have ambient lighting. You do have my modes. So instead of the normal sport mode and just normal efficient mode or eco mode, BMW kind of has these modes to match your mood. This one is the relax. I don't know about you guys, but I'm relaxed. This reminds me of the Lion King. Parking, here's all your cameras. Great resolution. I'm going to show you guys my favorite, which is going to be the three-dimensional view. I still don't know how to use the pinch exactly. So you can see the iX in all of its glory. Here's another shot of the front because we know that you guys love that view so much. And then you can get, there's all the parking assistant features, car wash view, camera cleaning. You can clean the front and rear. I won't do that right now because there's no need. But yeah, very good features. You got a little back button right there if you really wanted to use that. You can adjust the seats. Look at this. I'm going to adjust them from the settings. I don't know if that's necessarily awesome or amazing, but I like it. I like it. So on the second row, you can actually adjust the climate right here from this screen. And then you can lock the controls if you have little grubby kids that like to mess around with that stuff, because you know, I'm not a parent, but I know kids like to touch things and they like to mess with things that you tell them not to. So if you have those types of children, you can lock those controls. You can even automate habits in here and set up profiles. So if you have multiple drivers, you have all that right there. I know that was a lot, but I just wanted to show those key features and key things that I feel like as a buyer, I would want to know. Let's talk about this. So moving down here, you'll notice that, again, buttons are kind of hidden. You do have more shortcuts, so you can click media, goes right into that. Telephone, shortcut to your nav. So BMW has kind of thought of, everyone loves this iDrive dial, and let's just keep these buttons in a familiar place that's familiar to people or new buyers. You got a nice little slider for your volume. This is so much easier than trying to use it on the steering wheel. I like to use this little slider personally because I missed the little dial down there. Over here, you're going to have your parking cameras. If you click this, so you have forward collision avoidance, lane departure warning, and then you have steering intervention, and then your blind spot monitoring, and side collision warnings, exit warnings, emergency stop, fatigue alert, speed warning. So this is for people who like to speed. I'm looking at you. Moving down here, you're going to have 2 more charge ports, a wireless charging pad, 2 cup holders. And then up top, you see that bronzish kind of color right there again. And the cool thing is, if your arm's here and someone needs to open this right side, they can still open it, or you can do that. Give you guys a little preview, and there's not much. But yeah, seats are good again. Over here, look at how well integrated this glove box is. You almost think you don't have one. Push this little button. Essential. Here's one more look at the moonroof, and with the push of a button you can let in all the light or less light, however you like. This thing should not move like this.
That's what I was saying, man. It's very unassuming.
It's comfortable. All of these ride so nice.
There is a one pedal driving mode on this car. I don't know if you wanted to try that. That would just be pulling the gear shifter back one more time. And that's going to put you into B mode. So you see when you let your foot off the gas, it'll actively brake you. And that's what they call their one pedal mode.
It takes some getting used to.
Oh yeah, it's definitely something that you do have to get used to. It's easier when someone's had, because Tesla has the same feature, who's had an electric vehicle like that before.
That's fun. I feel like that's something that, or like new adopters would be like, nah, yeah, I'm not ready for it.
A lot of people like to coast, so that actively puts a stop to coasting. Because that's sport mode, it's going to be a little heavier.
That's nuts. Yeah. These are so fun.
They're absolutely incredible.
And I don't know how, maybe a couple years from now I'll be like, it's just whatever. But the newness is still awesome to me.
The novelty's there. If your seat heater's on, the armrest will heat up for you as well.
The armrest has heat?
Yeah. Yeah. Mine's a little warm right now.
Just taught me something new. To sum up this driving experience, I was beyond impressed with how much I actually like the iX. It rides well, it's peppy, and it has just enough sportiness to not be an absolute snooze. I will say this much, the iX pertains to a certain type of buyer, and those type of buyers will appreciate and love this thing. For the rest of you that this is not for, consider the i4 or the i5, because those are intended for the person who wants to drive and do more, with more buttons and more electronics and less shy electronics. So there are different cars that are out there when it comes to EVs, and you just have to find the right one for you. But be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.